From a handful of people in a small space to now, here. 500 employees with research programs in cancer epigenetics, neurodegenerative science, metabolism, and nutritional programming. I can't believe how far we've come. It's quiet now, but these walls speak. This place isn't just a building with programs, labs, and equipment. It's become a sanctuary of hope. And the labs, they're just not filled with scientists, but dedicated and brilliant individuals I would call architects of miracles. Where every breakthrough, every discovery is a step toward rewriting the story for so many families. And then there are those outside these walls. Angels of excellence. Individuals and organizations whose contribution plays a significant role in our groundbreaking research, whose selfless efforts not only raise funds, but create a wellspring of inspiration. This is why we celebrate and honor those who have given so much of themselves to battle against disease.
How the VAI is personal to me is actually directly related to their research. I'm a cancer survivor in 2015, and unfortunately I contracted a blood cancer this year. Although I'm in remission, the research that is going on in Peter's group is directly related to mantle cell lymphoma. So when you say, is this personal? It's pretty personal right now. Probably 15 years ago, I was invited to a business luncheon that David Van Andel spoke at here at the Institute, and was intrigued by two things: the pure research aspect of what they were doing, but also their educational program. I've been in education. I can appreciate what they're doing. So I was always interested in it. In the last 3 years, we've been much more involved. One of the things we've done with them is we brought their program to a summer camp for Newaygo County. And it serves about 400 kids. What's impressive is how engaged the kids are. And it's not just the experience of learning the science or the process of how to do scientific inquiry. It's a process of learning to work as a team, and it's the relationship that's developed between the kids and the Van Andel Institute people. I would say the impact of the institution on West Michigan is enormous. The ripple effect of the other medical facilities, it's transformed Grand Rapids.
I got a note from David Van Andel the other day because we had given them a pledge, 3-year pledge to support one of their programs. And David in a letter said to both Carrie and I that the reason he appreciates seeing the Cook name was because Jay and Peter were such great friends. So when Jay came up with the idea to do the Institute, it was a natural. Peter was going to invest in his friend.
Peter was part of the fabric of Grand Rapids and wanted to be part of the fabric of Grand Rapids. You see where the Van Andel Institute is located, right up there next to Spectrum, because we are strengthening healthcare in our community. And, you know, health matters. Quality of life, really high up there is what's your health? And so, you know, Jay struggled with Parkinson's. Peter saw that, felt that, and so really excited to try to invest in something that had future promise and hope for others.
To follow up on what Carrie said, what they're producing is hope. You know, all these experiments or so are hope that something will come out of that to make your life better, whether it's Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, whatever the area is. If they can succeed, it makes your life better, and it makes a life better for people in the community too.
And kudos, really kudos to the leadership, because not just are you attracting the people, but to attract those people, you've invested in phenomenal equipment. But we need that because that excites that scientific community. And like I say, it just validates Grand Rapids, it validates the VAI, and there's a lot of promise and a lot of hope coming out of Andel Institute.
I'm on the Andel Institute board, and I've been a board member for about 20 years.
And I'm a volunteer in the community, and I particularly volunteer around the area of literacy.
So certainly 20 years ago, I don't think any of us could imagine the impact that the Andel Institute has had on our community.
So I think for our kids and for our kids' kids, this is something that's not just off in New York City or somewhere else in the world. This is right here, and this is what excellence looks like. And it's one thing to have leaders, but then it's another thing to pass it on to the next generation and to survive, and then thrive in addition to just surviving. And to see the Van Andel Institute just thriving, and just becoming bigger and bigger and more global, I have to imagine they're thrilled.
We're all given skills, talents, and et cetera that we've been blessed with. And, part of our job is, how do we use those in order to better everyone's life? And part of bettering their life is to give them hope.
There's certainly an aspect of faith to our hope, but then in addition, to look at how our actions can help transform the opportunity for other people to live a better life. That makes a big difference.
This year, as we are setting up for Hockey Fights Cancer, there's a lot that prepares for coming up to the event, a lot with Van Andel Institute, and just all the preparations as far as for the teams and for
the auction items, all the baskets we have.
And getting sponsorships and jerseys. But during that week this year, I found out my dad had cancer. So it was a tough moment to hear and get that phone call right before this event. And it really changes your view on cancer and this research going into our Hockey Fights Cancer weekend. Mm-hmm. It really
it hits home.
It does. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Hockey Fights Cancer is an annual fundraiser with Southside Ice Arena and Fox Motors Hockey Club, where during the month of February we have special Hockey Fights Cancer games. So all of our teams participate and they wear purple jerseys in honor of people in their life, loved ones that they are skating for. This year's 2024 Hockey Fights Cancer event was very exciting. We raised $76,000 this year, which brings our total since 2016 to $499,000, which is amazing. And this year was particularly impactful for us as one of our own hockey players, Emma Corneli, she lost her life to cancer. And this weekend was all about her. And
we did t-shirts.
Everyone sported Emma t-shirts.
She had made her own design before she passed away. So we were able to put that on our Hockey Fights jerseys, like on the logo, and support that over the weekend.
It's so exciting to be in a fundraiser where we can tell those that donate that 100% of their contributions go to this cause. I think that's very unique and very special.
I was introduced to the Van Andel Institute in 2012 through a business merger and a relationship, which evolved into working on the Hope on the Hill committee and participating in many of the events. But as time grew and I became more familiar with the Van Andel Institute, it started to become something that I really believed in. I think that the Van Andel Institute educates people in a way that makes them feel part of the whole idea of their goal, their mission, all different age levels. There's just so much energy there, connected to the hospital, the School of Medicine, the scientists. So my personal experience is with my mom, who died of dementia 2 years ago. And her story it's really sad. She died insignificantly. She died with a few people around her. But she's gonna live on significantly because I'm gonna make sure that her name stays on that wall. When we're all gone and there are others there, people will see her name and they'll wonder who she is, but they'll know that she was part of that cog, that tiny, tiny little cog of that engine that runs on that hill. It gives me joy to know that others will know her and that someday the little bit that I have given can find a cure for that awful, horrible disease. I'm just so grateful and I feel so privileged to be part of that engine. And I hope that I can remain part of that engine for a long, long time.
Together, we are a testament to what the human spirit can achieve when driven by the pursuit of a better tomorrow.
I know they'd be incredibly proud.